Aloha, and thank you for tuning in to the 144,000 Angel Network show. My name is Angela Kaihui, and I'm your former U.S. House of Representative for candidate for Congress for the 2016 election. And today is January 17, 2017. And we have a special show for you today featuring Philip Kaihui, my Hawaiian Prince, Hawaii's Prince. So thank you for tuning in. Hawaiian Prince Kaihui. Who is the Prince Kaihui? It's Philip Kaihui. You see him there? Little Philip Kaihui. There he is. Hawaiian Prince Kaihui. Let me tell you about a story. A story about a little young boy who was born on January 31st, 2004. His name is Philip Kaihui. Today he is 12 years old, and soon he will be a teenager. Soon he will be 13 years old. Today I have a certain key issues that I wanted to talk to you about, and we will be discussing this. Let's go on to the next slide, please. Who is the Hawaiian Prince Kaihui, and is he really a prince? I mean, really, do we even have a prince? Do we even have a monarchy here in Hawaii? I don't think so, but I have trained and I have taught my son to act and behave like a prince. I want him to be a prince. I treat him like a prince, and he sure is a prince, and he is the Hawaiian Prince Kaihui. Little Philip Prince Kaihui. 50% Hawaiian. Is he really 50% Hawaiian? And that's the question that I want to ask people out there today, because I am claiming that my son Philip Kaihui is 50% Hawaiian. That makes him half Hawaiian. How many of you Hawaiians out there can say that you are half Hawaiian? If he is not half Hawaiian, he is at least 47% Hawaiian. And still, that is a significant amount of Hawaiian bloodline. 47 to 50%. How many of you out there Hawaiians can really say that you are 50% or 45% or 35% Hawaiians? And this is an issue that I have been researching for the past 10 years with the Office of Hawaiian Affairs, OHA, and with DHHL, because I wanted to get my son on that list for the Department of Hawaiian Homestead Lands and Lease. Are you Hawaiian? So I know there are many people who claim they are Hawaiians out there. You have people who are 100% Hawaiians. Probably most of them are on the island of Niihau. You have 50% Hawaiians, 75% Hawaiians, 25. You know, throughout the years, throughout the generations, they have their bloodline has diminished, and every time you don't marry another Hawaiian, you lose a part of your bloodline. So how much Hawaiian are you? Yes, I've studied our genealogy, and I've looked at my ex-husband Philip Kaihui, who I claim is 100% Hawaiian. But on his birth certificates and in the records, it doesn't say that. And there is some Chinese that have been placed on the birth certificates. And I wonder, where does this Chinese come from? Because there is no Chinese in his history when I look at his side of the family. So when I look at his side of the family and I go through the genealogy, I don't see any Chinese names. So I wonder, how does the Chinese name get placed on the birth certificate? And then when Philip, my little son, when his father's birth certificate says Chinese Hawaiian, it almost appears that he looks like that the father is 50% Hawaiian and the 50% Chinese, which is not true at all. Because when you look at both the grandparents' sides, the father, the grandfather, and the grandmother, they both have a strong Hawaiian bloodline. So here again, this is a slide that says Philip Kaihui II on the top left-hand corner. His father is Philip Mahinaho Kaihui I. And as you can see, both his parents are James Kaihui and Doreen Nalani Ka'ana'ana. She came from the Ka'ana'ana family. And those are both very Hawaiian. I don't know how much more Hawaiian you can get. Those are Hawaiian names. And because of that, and then I went one more generation beyond, and again, I saw Hawaiian names. So that would tell me that they are Hawaiians. and that they married Hawaiians, right? And then they had children, and they are Hawaiians. And then they had my son, and I got married, and I had my son, and he is half Hawaiian because I'm not Hawaiian. I'm a Caucasian and Asian. So, but my son now, that would make him 50% Hawaiian. That should make him 50% Hawaiian. So this Chinese, that was brought to my attention about 10 years ago, but I didn't pursue it back then. But now I hope that by bringing this and talking about this issue, that we can, that DHHL, Department of Hawaiian and Homestead Leases, Mr. William Ayla, I hope that you, perhaps look into this, because I'm pretty sure you guys are not registering 50% Hawaiians anymore, or giving out leases because they don't qualify because of that 50% quantum blood ancestry is. People are just not having it anymore. But in this case, you have a Philip Kaihui, Prince Kaihui. I call him a prince because, reality is how many Hawaiians are out there that are still 50% Hawaiians. And that's why I have come on today's show, because I want you, if you are Hawaiians and if you have this problem or this issue, then please contact us. And we have a number at the end of the show for you to contact us so that we can address this. Because if you are half Hawaiian, then you should be on that list. And if you are 50% Hawaiian, or maybe perhaps you just missed it by a little bit, 49, 48% Hawaiian, and that's where the question is for my son Philip Kaihui. Is he 47% Hawaiian, or is he 50% Hawaiian? Because when I went through his genealogy, all I saw were Hawaiians, 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 Hawaiians. But I just don't get how they put that Chinese in there. And if they put that Chinese in there somehow, then it gets brought down and brought down and brought down. And it appears to this day that my son's father, it almost appears that it looks like he's 50% Chinese. And he's not at all Chinese. He's full-blooded Hawaiian. So that makes my son a 50% half-blooded Hawaiian, and he deserves to be on that Hawaiian homestead lease, and he deserves to get his lands, and he's only 12 years old. So I'm going to change the little subject here. We're going to talk about land, power, and wealth, because although I want my son to be on that Department of Hawaiian homestead lease, he is special because he has his own fee simple lands. We as parents, my family, we had inherited our own fee simple. It's not leased lands, it's fee simple lands. And that Philip Kaihui is the heir of this 82-acre land parcel overlooking Pearl Harbor area. So what I'd like to do is challenge anybody out there, if you are a prince, to come forward, because I really want to call my son a prince, and I think he is the prince that he is, and he is a really charming prince. So back to that election that I was recently in, Aulani Kaihui 2016, there was the Democratic Party and there was a Republican Party, and they are at war, and I kind of wish that I did not even get involved in any of those parties, because I'm more of an independent. So there you see the roaring lion, but actually I was born in the year of the tiger. So, that was a pretty impact image, I think, right there, that kind of shows the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. I mean, they are at war, and for me, I do not want to be in that war. I don't want to be a Republican just to lose, because that seems like that's what happens here in Hawaii. They say Hawaii is a democratic state, and is it really a democratic state? Because we really don't know if it's a democratic state. I mean, look what's come about, Hawaii election fraud. I've been reporting, if you didn't watch my last 2 episodes about Hawaii election fraud, and I've discovered that 43% of the 161 candidates, now there are 161 candidates in Hawaii that ran in this election. I was candidate I believe it was number 17 or 18, but there were 161 candidates. Now when you compare the 2 databases that the Hawaii election puts out, there's a candidate ID list 1, and there's another report that is generated in report number 2, when you compare those two lists, the candidate ID numbers switch. So that right there is the basic summary of what had happened and what I discovered. I went into detail in the first 2 episodes of the Hawaii election fraud and how these, I really looked at it and examined it. So if you really want to learn more about it, please refer back to the 2 episodes in which I talked about the Hawaii elections fraud. So 43% of the 161 candidates the IDs were switched. So how does this affect us? Now, if we have Hawaii election fraud, how does it affect us? And it affects us in all different ways. For some other person, it may be different. For me, it may be in another way. For the Hawaiians, it may be another way. Maybe they might not get all their lands and leases that they are requiring or that they should be getting or entitled to. Maybe we're not doing as much as we should be doing for the Hawaiian people. I mean, I think the Hawaiians, they should all have their own homes or their own lands. There's so much lands on the Big Island, and they deserve it. And like take for example my son, who I claim is 50% Hawaiian, but in the paperwork, in the birth certificates, it shows that he's Chinese. And like I said, I looked back at all the history and I did not find any Chinese person in our family tree or in his family tree. So that really hurts the Hawaiian community. So okay, for this slide here talks about being born and raised in Hawaii. Now, if you were born and raised in Hawaii, and there were a lot of people, there's a lot of you that are born and raised in Hawaii, then that tells me that you all have the same opportunities and the same benefits as other people do, that the more fortunate ones here in Hawaii. So if you were born and raised in Hawaii, why do some people not receive as much benefits or entitlement as other people who were born and raised in Hawaii? See, I wasn't born here. I was born in Texas. I came here. I lived in Hawaii all of my life. But I know there are a lot of local Hawaiian people that are born and raised in Hawaii. And if you're born and raised in Hawaii, then why do you have any less than the others that are born and raised? What makes you different or makes you any less than not being born or being born and raised in Hawaii, not having the same opportunities? Why are you, if there are the homeless people, why are they the homeless people? Why are they the ones that are the underprivileged? You have the same opportunities. You're in Hawaii. Is it because some people are smarter than others, or is it because some people are just more fortunate than others? I think we all have the same opportunities and the same potential to go to college, to get a good education, to get a good home, to get a good job. You all, if you're born and raised in Hawaii, should all have the same opportunities. And let me tell you, being a landowner is not everything. There's responsibilities, and there are problems, and there are issues. And that is why I came out in the public eye, so that way I could be, I call it public attention equals public protection. Because at first I was very humble. I didn't want to brag about it, I didn't want to talk about it. It felt like I was bragging about it, so I wanted to stay behind the scenes. I kept it very quiet, very private. But when you do that, then people know that you are doing things behind closed doors, and that's when you also can be taken down. So I didn't want to be taken down, so that's why I came on the public eye. And so I ran for Congress, I ran for mayor, because I said, if I'm going to go down, I'm going to go down in front of all of Hawaii. We are all going to go down in front of all of Hawaii, and if you guys want to laugh at me, you guys can laugh at me. Take away my lands, foreclose on the property if that's what they want to do. So that's why I came on the public. And I'm doing this for, I believe, a lot of people who want to be landowners. Now, I had a fun time running in for Congress because running in and getting involved in politics. I met a lot of people. I got to know a lot of politicians that I would have never, ever gotten to know before or even met. And it just made me do things that I never would normally do. So now that I had this chance to meet Gene Ward and Sam Sloan, and I got to meet Lauren Matsumoto and Adrian Tapuola and Shirlene Ostrov. I got to meet so many different people. So I really did have a great time, and it really brought me out into the public, and I hope that I can do something good for Hawaii. And the one thing that I'd like to talk about and focus is about land, power, and wealth, and about this 50% Hawaiian issue that I think OHA, and that DHHL, they need to address, because I don't think there's enough Hawaiians nowadays to even be called Hawaiian or to even be qualified for a DHHL leased homestead. Tell you a story. I want to tell you a story about being a landowner, because it can be a scary situation. And that's why, like I said, I'm here in public. I'm coming out in the public because I want to share with you our story and our family's story about what it's like to be a property owner. I've been wanting to end this chapter in my life and move on. Former U.S. congressional candidate and GOP nominee in the 2016 general election. I stated that at a recent news conference, and I said that this is serious, and I want to sell our family's forest and apartment zone 82-acre land parcel, because fighting with foreign invaders and competing with them makes it so that you can't trust anyone. Someone is trying to steal our dreams, our goals, our development, and this is not a nice position to be in. They make up frivolous cases and lawsuits against you. They violate their own laws, their rules, just so that they can come after you. I've been badmouthed, labeled a bad community member, and when you're dealing with hostile trespassers, unruly neighbors who think they own everything, working in gangs makes you helpless. Without the proper enforcement, you're helpless. And waiting for the state and their attorneys generals is like waiting and watching for the next falling star. I'd like to pursue other developments and move back to the Big Island. There's just so many more opportunities there, and you don't have to deal with nasty as hell. I call them nasty as hell. Sometimes it's nasty as hell. People who think that their little 3,200 square feet house lot is luxury living. I am saying it's dangerous. And if you walk around your own property, you would think that it's your own property, you can enjoy your own property. But no, not in this situation. You can get shot at by my neighbors. They have guns. They think they own everything. I've watched them steal states' lands. And then when there is no one around but just little old me, I don't have brothers and sisters to gang up with. The only close brother I had works for Delta in Georgia. And he ain't going to come to my rescue and fly all the way back here to back me up like how these gangsta family does. It can be a very scary thought. And I don't want to be the center of their attention, watched with hidden security cameras. It's like they are obsessed with my existence. They cry assault if you walk up to them. And they sure know how to lie just to get the attention from the cops. They are some bad demons. This place is haunted. Property manager Michael Juarez reported a decomposing dead body, and HPD ignored it because they don't want to get their shoes muddy. Can you believe that? Can you just imagine? This is a no man's land, and anything goes back there. The state works really slow. The cops don't want to dirty their shoes, so what is there to do? You got to take the law into your own hands, and you got to know how. Take, for example, these very same hostile people, illegal trespassers. They just stole the Hawaiian railway tracks that cross the state of Hawaii's lands. We all thought this easement for the railway is returned back to the state. Not 60 years later, that same family claim it for themselves. Then install a gate and lock everyone out, including myself. Quick to call the cops, acting as if they own the entire Waimalu Valley. Yes, these foreign local hostile investors, they gang up against you, and I sure got too much to lose to even think of messing with them. They are very proactive and aggressive, and I ain't going to fight this battle for Hawaii. You do it. Yes, they are scary people. Some other people who wants to deal with them and put them in their place will have the honor and privilege of dealing with them, and at the same time owning a large piece of paradise, if you still believe that this is paradise. I don't think so. Paradise is a place of beauty, pristine. Yes, I'm ready to move on. We want to move on to something else. There is so much more to do than being stuck on a tiny little island. It's time to move on. So I'd like to introduce to you Kaihui's Prince Kaihui, Hawaiian Prince Kaihui. Man, he's the heir of 82 acres. In addition, he's 50% Hawaiian. Can you beat that? Is there any Hawaiians out there that can beat that? If you can beat that, please tell me. I want to know. We want to know about you. We're going to have a little competition here. The story of a Hawaiian prince. It says here, if you are 50% Hawaiian and someone is telling you that you're not 50% Hawaiian, whether it's the State Department of Health or DHHL, I want to hear about it. Please call 808-542-9393, because if you're 50% Hawaiian, you deserve to be on that DHHL, Department of Hawaiian Homestead Lands, lease, and get your lands and build your homes. Because there's hardly any 50% Hawaiians. I think now maybe it's 25%, the majority, or even 12.5%, or even less. I mean, are all the students at these King Kamehameha schools, are they Hawaiian? I mean, my son is half Hawaiian. Can he go to school there too? You know, I think he deserves to go to school there too, and he deserves the benefits of the Hawaiian homestead leases as well. So now, I want to present to you my son, Philip Kaihui, who's very talented, and he's a singer and a guitar player, and he's very, very good at singing, and I'm just so amazed. He's only 12 years old. So I'd like to introduce to you Philip Kaihui. He's going to be singing a few songs for you. Take it away, Philip.
Words get trapped in my mind. Sorry, I don't take the time to feel the way I do. But the first day you came into my life, my time ticks around you. But then I need your voice as a key to unlock all the love that's trapped in me. Or tell me when it's time to say I love you. All I want is you to understand that when I take your hand, it's 'cause I want to. We are all born in a world of doubt. There's no doubt. I figured out I love you. All I want is you to understand that when I take your hand, it's 'cause I want to. We are all born in a world of doubt. There's no doubt. I figured out I love you. And I feel lonely for all the losers that will never take the time to say what was really on their mind. Instead, they just run away. Yet they'll never have someone like you to help them and guide along the way, or tell them when it's time to say I love you. So tell me when it's time to say I love you. inside a room that's vacant. I lost my nerve, it's unnerving. I know there is something I'm forgetting. Was it the moon? I lost my head. I even looked under the bed. I punched the walls, I hit the street. I'm down in the pavement looking. I'm missing you. I'm missing you. You're not around and I'm a complete disaster. I'm missing you. Remember, was the first time I told you I loved you at the bus station. Well, don't forget, 'cause it's not over. I'm not lost, 'cause I'm just missing you. Oh, I searched the moon, I lost my head. I even looked under the bed. I punched the walls, I hit the street. I'm down in the pavement looking. I'm missing you. I'm missing you. You're not around and I'm a complete disaster. I'm missing you. Say hey. Well, she's my blood. Well, she's my soul. It gets so lost out in the cold. Feels so far, like this lone star. It gets so hard when I'm missing you. I'm missing you. I'm missing you. You're not around and I'm a complete disaster. I'm missing you. Another turning point, a fork stuck in the road. Time grabs you by the wrist, directs you where to go. So make the best of this test and don't ask why. It's not a question but a lesson learned in time. It's something unpredictable, but in the end it's right. I hope you had the time of your life. So take the photographs and still frames in your mind. Hang it on a shelf and good health and good time. Tattoos and memories and dead skin on trial. For what it's worth, it was worth all right. I hope you had the time of your life.
Thank you, Hawaii, for tuning into our show, 144,000 Angel Network. Today I wanted to talk about that 50% Hawaiian blood quantum. Because although my son's birth certificate says Chinese on there, he's not Chinese. And if you go back into the records and into the history and the genealogy, I have no idea how Chinese got onto the birth certificate. At some point, it got onto the birth certificate, and when it gets passed down and passed down and passed down, it makes it seem like my son's father is 50% Chinese and 50% Hawaiian, when that's not true. My son's father is 100% full-blooded Hawaiian. That makes my son, Philip Kaihui, a 50% Hawaiian. So I think this is a serious issue that Hawaii needs to face with. I first learned about this 10 years ago, but I think now is the time to pursue this because as we know, there are hardly any 50% Hawaiians these days. There's maybe not even 35% Hawaiians and maybe not even 25% Hawaiians. As generations go and generations continue to go on, we're going to be losing the Hawaiian bloodline. So my son, who's 50% Hawaiian, I believe that he should be entitled to DHHL, Hawaiian Homestead Land Lease. I'd like to put his name and be registered as a 50% Hawaiian. That way, if there are any other people out there, and I know there are other people and other Hawaiians that are experiencing the same issues and the same problems and are frustrated and don't know what to do. And if you are 50% Hawaiian and if you can somehow prove it and someone is telling you that you're not 50% Hawaiian, then please call us at 808-542-9393 or call DHHL and speak to the chair, Mr. William Isla, because this is something that needs to be addressed. And I know in the past I've heard about this and people were talking about how there's not going to be no 50% Hawaiians to qualify for the DHHL homestead lease. But now I'm trying to help organize something and push for that because I too, I'd like for my son to have that 50% and be qualified as for the Department of Hawaiian Homestead Lands and Lease. And if there are other people, and I know there are other people out there too, that deserve to be on that Hawaiian Homestead Land Lease and get their own lands and get their own houses built and have the wonderful opportunity of having your own lands in Hawaii. So thank you, and again, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed our show because my little Hawaiian prince, I call him Hawaiian Prince Philip. He is so talented, and he is only 12 years old. Can you believe that? You know, I have so much respect for him, and I'm just so amazed that he is so talented, and he became very talented, and he just memorizes all those songs. It's amazing. So thank you, Hawaii, for tuning in, and aloha. See you next time. Ahui ho.